Good morning, everyone, and good day. This is Pastor Kale with Hope from His Word. And today we're going to jump right into it. We're going to be reading from Mark 9, starting here in verse 14, talking about the healing of a boy with an evil spirit. So when they came to the other disciples, they saw a large crowd around them, and the teachers of the law were arguing with them. As soon as the people saw Jesus, they were overwhelmed with wonder and ran to greet him. "What are they arguing with them about?" he asked. A man in the crowd answered, "Teacher, I brought you my son who is possessed by a spirit and robbed him of his speech. Whenever it seizes him, it throws him to the ground. He foams at the mouth, gnashes at the teeth, and becomes rigid. I asked your disciples to drive out the spirit, but they could not. O unbelieving generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I put up with you? Bring the boy to me." So they brought him. When the spirit saw Jesus, it immediately threw the boy into a convulsion. He fell to the ground and rolled around, foaming at the mouth. Jesus asked the boy's father, "How long has he been like this?" "From childhood," he answered. "It has often thrown him into the fire or water to kill him. But if you can do anything, take pity on us and help us." "If you can," says Jesus, "everything is possible for him who believes." Immediately the boy's father exclaimed, "I do believe. Help me overcome my unbelief." When Jesus saw the crowd was running to the scene, he rebuked the evil spirit. "You deaf and mute spirit," he said, "I command you to come out of him and never to enter him again." The spirit shrieked, convulsed, and violently came out. The boy looked much like a corpse that many said, "He's dead." But Jesus took him by the hand and lifted him to his feet, and he stood up. Now, when we look at this verse, there's a lot to take in. It looks kind of like one of those horror movies, those scary movies that we watch. But there's really a lot of good, that is coming out of this. There's a lot of spirit of goodness that Jesus is doing in this moment. And what always sticks out to me is this spirit of this father. You can imagine dealing with this difficult situation of the spirit that was taken over this boy, and ever since he was a child, that it would just be such a constant stressor, a constant frustration, a constant affliction in their life. You can almost hear as Jesus says, "How long has he dealt with this?" And when you hear the father say, "Since childhood," just the burden and just the pain and just the trials that come out of that exclamation. You can see that he tried to bring them to the disciples and they were not able to do it. You can hear in his voice that he's tried everything, and he's at his wit's end, that it says, well, maybe, just maybe, if I bring him to Jesus, he can do something. And you hear him cry out, "Jesus, Jesus, if you can do something, please do it." And of course, Jesus, who is the one who is able to do anything and able to do everything, it exclaims to his faith, "If I am," you have to just believe. And then you hear the Father trying to muster everything in his heart and his spirit. "I do believe. I do believe. Just help my unbelief." Working with, my father on several different projects, and the going through the day and working on different things, and there's an ism that kind of gets passed down to my dad, and that's come from my grandfather. When it's about quitting time, or it's about time to take a break, that they say, "Oh, my tired is hurting." And that's something that, like I said, my grandpa, told to my dad, and my dad has told to me, and I've heard it a lot, growing up. I said, doing different things. But it's kind of funny when you think about it, because we don't talk like that. But, we can put ourselves in the mind of, yeah, okay, when we get tired, I guess that's funny. It's tired. Our tired is hurting. And I think if we really stop and we think about it, really our life and our spirit does get hurt, and it does get tired. And I think it does get tired of hurting. It gets tired of being in pain. It gets tired of wrestling with the same things. It gets tired of facing the same struggles. On a smaller sense, but still a greater sense, we get tired of having to hear the alarm clock go off every morning and having to get up and go to the toil of work year after year, day after day. If you find yourself in that, and big and small, in that, just know that Jesus is the same Jesus of the scripture that says, just believe, just have faith, just trust that I can get you through this day, that I can get you through this trial. And we can come to just like this Father did towards Jesus. I do believe, trying everything that we have. I do believe. But Lord, please help my unbelief. I think wherever we find ourselves today, that's the prayer and that's the Jesus that we find ourselves. That Jesus saying, I'm right here. I'm able to help. I can help you. I can give you the strength that you need. Yes, you can always come to me. And wherever we find ourselves in great faith or in little faith, we can say, God, I know that you are the source of hope, but I don't feel hope today. But I'm going to hope a little bit in you. God, I don't feel that I can have this joy today, but I'm going to try to have this joy today. May I find joy in you today. And we'll find that. We'll find that. So, God, I don't know if I feel your peace today. I have this great sorrow. I have this great mourning. But I want to trust in you. I want to know that you can bring the peace that surpasses understanding. And he shows that and he gives that. And so I pray for that. Pray for you today. I pray that wherever you find yourself, that where your tired is hurting, where your peace is hurting, where your joy is hurting, where your hope is hurting, where your trials are just overwhelming you, I pray for God's comfort, and I pray for God's strength, and I pray for God's hope, and I pray for God's wisdom and peace, and whatever you're looking for today. I pray that your eyes would look up and see that Jesus is there for you, waiting for you, and is able to help. And if you cry out to him, you'll find him there reaching out for you, because that's who he is. That's what he did. That's what he did in this scripture. That's what he does for our life. He takes away the evil things in our life and he fills them with good. If we believe, and if we have just a little bit of faith, if we believe in him just a little bit of much, he shows us great wonders and great peace and great places to trust in him more. And so I pray that that finds you in a good place today and brings you to a better place today. So I pray you guys have a great day. We'll see you guys next week.